Bill Bishop, it's great to have a chance to talk with you. You in LaGrange, Texas, me physically in Washington, D.C. right now. And I've been following your writing on the Daily Yonder, especially in other places about the changes since 2016, both the political shift in national politics and a lot of state politics, and the effects of economic changes and the pandemic. Since 2016, how have these fundamentals changed?
I think they haven't changed that much. I mean, what I think we were really seeing and what we said at the time when we first got into this was that these weren't they were only political separations on election day. What was happening was that people were congregating by lifestyle, and that lifestyle, from the New Deal on, politics was guided by and the divisions were economic. But beginning in the 70s again, those those old New Deal demarcations began to lose their power, and instead we were separating by, and politics became divided by lifestyle.
And in in your specialty and sort of the geography of political and personal belief over the past decade plus, do you think the experience of what's becoming a shared national burden of death and disease from COVID, is this having any of the kind of unifying experience that some national tragedies have had in the past, or not? Is every person for himself?
It may not be every person for himself, but I don't, I mean, we can look around us and we'd have to be really scratching deep to find any indication that this experience has led to any sense of togetherness, mainly because it's abstracted in a way. It's the only way people get together is they do things together. They don't talk about it. They don't read the same newspapers. They do things together. And there's a long line of social science research that shows that, yeah, when you get people to talk about their differences, they come out of it hating each other more. And there's a great experiment from 1954, the Robbers Cave experiment, where the social psychologists got two groups of white boys, same IQs, same family structure, same everything, divided them into two different groups and put them on a state park in Oklahoma, Robbers Cave State Park. And they gradually got to know that the other group was there. And they immediately they gave each other bad names. They called each other bad names. They raided each other's camps. It was turning into a violent situation between two groups that were only different because they were put in different tribes. And the social psychologist said, well, they tried something else. They plugged up the water supply. Okay, if you all want water, you're going to have to work together to unplug the water supply. And they did. If you all work together, we'll bring you movies. And they did, because all of a sudden those differences became less abstract and you had something to do. And our experience in this town is that that is exactly what happens.
I'm thinking now again about effects of the pandemic, and one of your main themes is that it's an era, a worldwide era of more individual choice in how life is lived. Um, do you think the pandemic era and the necessity of people not working in big cities, at least for a confined period of time, and working remotely, will this be a historic shift in allowing more people to choose where and how they live and work? Or again, is this going to be a bump in the road?
I don't think it changes the way people see themselves. In fact, it sort of plays into the notion that everyone is their own brand, everyone is their own free agent nation, and that yeah, you really are on your own. It really is up to you, uh, and and it seems to me that this whole experience has, if anything, reinforced uh, that, and because that's the way our system is now set up. Yeah, it's up to you to get an education. Yeah, if you want to succeed, this is a meritocracy. You can succeed if you're the best. And that hadn't changed a bit. In fact, if I see anything, it's just getting stronger.
Is there anything you are recommending that can be done, or are you mainly observing our plight? You know, if people take seriously, if they're all in on your analysis and your diagnosis, what's the prescription you would pass on to them?
You get along with people by doing things rather than talking about them. So in 2017, LaGrange was inundated with Hurricane Harvey. I mean, the river rose. We had 400 families lose their homes, largely Hispanic families. This is 2017, 1 year after the election. 79% of the people here voted for Trump. We have a meeting in our church's parish hall, and everybody's there. Everybody's in the parish hall, and the Catholic priest stands up and says, um, if you ask the people who were flooded for identification, for papers, for this, that, and the other, they're not going to come to get the help. And so we need not to do that. And I waited for objection, and there was none, because we had a job to do. We had a disaster to confront. We had people who needed help. And for the next, well, we gave away stuff. For the next 4 months, 17 churches cooperated to feed anybody who came in the door hot meals 2 nights a week. The recovery center gave away stuff without taking, we didn't ask a name. We didn't ask where you lived. If you needed furniture, we got you furniture. And so it was having to do something rather than talk about it, through people with wildly different political beliefs, together, working in a way that truly defines what a community is about.
And here we come to a point of complete accord. I agree that engagement and connection of any kind is the essential step. And so
It's but it's
yeah,
doing, Jim. It's not
yes,
talking. It's not
oh,
reading. It's not,
yes.
it's
And
doing
by
stuff.
engagement, I mean doing something,
Okay.
of being in your community association, of cleaning up a park, of doing whatever the community needs. So, um, Bill, we have many other things we could discuss, but that is what we're discussing for today. Thank you so much for everything you've done to clarify and give some edge to our current predicament.
Thank you.